In this video, Elon Musk surprises many, calling for an immediate increase in fossil fuel output. Morgan Stanley says Tesla stock is a safe haven for investors. Gigafactory Berlin has finally, officially received approval. And a Tesla bull says Tesla is headed toward a $4 trillion valuation, which is $4,000 per share. So let's get into the video. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. So let's have a quick look at a few stocks today. Tesla stock essentially flat, down just $1, which I think is about the same price your girlfriend charges for a jar of her peach jam. I don't know what you think I was going to say, you disgusting creep. In a very red day, this is very impressive for Tesla, very resilient. Let's have a look at a few other stocks just for some context. If we head over to the laughing stock of the entire market and the electric vehicle space, of course, we have Nikola. Stunningly still above $0 per share, but down 8% for the day, $6.64 per share. If we run it back to mid-2020, I mean, seriously, the bell curve is real. Nikola stock down about 90% since its peak closing price. And still, in my opinion, dramatically overvalued by about $3 billion. Rivian also getting slaughtered today, down almost 7% after backflipping, previously screwing over old reservation holders, then retroactively hiking prices so the early supporters got completely screwed. The next day, Rivian issues an apology, yet still here we are, too little too late. Government Motors also getting creamed today, down almost 6%. Flagship ARK Innovation Fund down almost 5%, and press F in the chat, Ford Motor Company also down over 4%. Given what happened in the broader stock market today, Tesla's decline of a mere $0.12%, really strong result. Now on to Elon's big tweet of the day, which is usually saying something. Quote, hate to say it, but we need to increase oil and gas output immediately. Extraordinary times demand extraordinary measures. I wholeheartedly agree. In fact, a week ago, I made a video on this very channel saying the exact same thing. This comment, of course, will surprise many people who either A, don't understand that Elon's a very logical person, or B, more broadly, just don't understand Elon, period. Elon adding further comments, quote, obviously, this would negatively affect Tesla, but sustainable energy solutions simply cannot react instantaneously to make up for Russian oil and gas exports. For those who missed the original video, allow me to sum things up. Current situation is as follows. Russia has many of the world's countries firmly by the balls. Why? Because said countries depend on Russia to meet their energy needs. Russia is a huge exporter of oil and gas, fossil fuels. In a hypothetical scenario, say for example, if Russia decided to invade a nearby country, you would expect a pretty strong reaction from countries the world over to condemn Russia's actions, sanctions, and so on. But here's the problem. If Russia currently has you firmly by the balls, as in you're dependent on their energy and should they withdraw the provision of said energy, your economy will immediately collapse. There's only so much of a reaction you can get away with, keeping in mind that Russia can squeeze their grip even tighter. This is the problem. This is the point. This is a national security issue. This is what Elon's comments are about. As I said a week ago in the previous video, the highest priority should be for countries to first achieve energy independence. In other words, to not have another country holding them by the balls, being dependent on them to meet their energy needs. The second step, only after the first is complete, is to transition the world to sustainable energy generation, storage and supply, but only after first achieving energy independence. This is essentially what Elon's getting at here. Because so many countries today are dependent on Russian oil and gas, they've not been able to respond to Russia as they really want to. This is a very tense situation. The world is currently walking a tightrope. If the response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine is too heavy-handed, Russia having everyone by the balls could literally go, you know what, F you guys, no more oil, no more gas. See how long you last. Should that scenario play out, it would be truly catastrophic. Wouldn't it be ironic if during this crisis, some of the folks at Tesla actually get involved in helping out the fossil fuel industry? I wouldn't say this is likely, but it's definitely possible. As Elon said, extraordinary times demand extraordinary measures. And as I said in the previous video, obviously over the long term, this is going to be a major accelerant for sustainable energy generation, storage and supply. This is a huge wake-up call. If you're not generating, storing, and supplying your own energy, you have a major problem. I personally think over the long term, this is going to massively accelerate the adoption of sustainable energy generation, storage, and supply. Next, a new note published by Morgan Stanley, quote, Tesla and Ferrari shelter in an inflationary storm. Tesla price target $1,300 per share. Stock rating overweight. Morgan Stanley still embarrassingly off the mark in their EPS estimates. I mean, if you guys really want to, set some reminders to check back on these at the actual dates once they've passed and see how far off these Muppets were. $9.91 in EPS in 2022. Seriously? They're only at $13 in 23 and $17 in 2024. I mean, how high are these guys, and can I please have what you're smoking? That being said, they do make some reasonable points. Investors are asking me, what would you buy in such a supply-constrained, macro-uncertain, inflationary environment? In an ideal world, we'd want to use current market conditions to look at good companies with the following attributes. Strong brand, long order backlog, in other words, demand exceeding capacity/supply, strong balance sheet/access to capital, and strong pricing power. While all the stocks under our coverage have some exposure/risk in this highly fluid macro/supply/inflationary environment, we'd highlight Tesla and Ferrari as the names that come close to ticking all the boxes above. Hold up a minute. Could somebody please tell me which of the boxes here Tesla doesn't wholly, completely tick? Morgan Stanley is saying coming close to ticking all the boxes above. Which box doesn't Tesla tick? Strong brand? Massive tick? I mean, they don't even have to advertise. Bro, seriously? Long order backlog? Yeah, how's 6+ months? Strong balance sheet? Yeah, how's printing billions of dollars of profits every quarter, and this is going to massively increase in the next few quarters and years? And how's never needing to raise capital again, because you've got about $20 billion in your war chest. Next quarter that's going to be 22, 23. Next quarter that's going to be 25, 26, 27, on and on and on. And strong pricing power. How's having to increase the price of your flagship products by 15 to 20% last year because demand's so insane, and still having wait times 3, 6, 12+ months? I think Tesla does tick all those boxes. Let's carry on. Tesla's resilience in this market is taking many investors by surprise, as it is seemingly perceived as a relative safe haven due to its pre-existing capacity shortage, deterministic access to key materials at scale, and supply chain relationships, miners, etc. We forecast Tesla to sell no more than one... Holy f***, I literally just choked. Yeah. Where were we here? We forecast Tesla to sell no more than 1.5 million vehicles this year, which we believe to be material lower than demand for their vehicles at their current list prices. This is a fair point. Tesla could sell well in excess of 1.5 million vehicles this year. They just need to make them. For this year at least, a stronger economy would not help Tesla sell more than 1.5 million units, as we see this butting up against physical capacity to produce. We can of course envision scenarios where Tesla may not be able to produce 1.5 million units due to nearly emerging physical supply chain disruptions that go beyond mere input prices. In such an environment, we would not rule out further temporary price increases to fully or partially pass through to customers. Longer term, we believe Tesla's mission is to systematically invest in margin and use manufacturing and scale improvements to substantially lower the acquisition costs of their vehicles to customers, ultimately reaching a $15,000 to $20,000 price point, which can unlock significant new markets in countries like India. Actually, agree on this, I've discussed in the past. In the later half of this decade, I won't at all be surprised if Tesla's selling vehicles for well under $20,000. Anyone want to guess what we're seeing on screen right now? Let me know in the comments below. What's this? Spoiler alert, this is German bureaucracy and red tape. This is the minor amount of paperwork that was required for Tesla to receive approval for their Gigafactory Berlin. I'm not joking. We're talking literally tens of thousands of pages of bullshit, some of which was probably necessary. I wonder how much paperwork was required for the Shanghai plant. Maybe one binder? But yes, the good news is Tesla wins approval to open European assembly plant. German authorities cleared the plant, which was built near Berlin, to open for production. Tesla plans to build 500,000 electric cars a year there in stage 1. Remember, there's going to be a stage 2, 3, and 4, eventually a couple of million vehicles plus per year. Count on it. Quote, German authorities gave the approval on Friday for Tesla to begin production of electric vehicles and battery cells at its first major assembly plant in Europe after months of delays and disputes, paving the way for the electric car company to begin production of its Model Y sport utility vehicle. The announcement was critical for Tesla, which had raced to begin construction of the $7 billion plant 2 years ago without waiting for the German bureaucracy. A move that risked having to tear down the plant had the approval not been secured. There's always a risk here, but this is an extremely unlikely scenario. Of course, many companies wouldn't have the balls or the sense of urgency to do this, and that's why Tesla gets shit done faster. Despite the months of delays, this project has actually been stunningly fast by German standards. We're over on Barron's now. Quote, Tesla may have a path to a $4 trillion market value. Here's why. Tesla investor Gary Black, shout out to Gary, absolute legend, tweeted out some interesting math Friday. He He laid out his case for Tesla's market capitalization to climb to a whopping $4 trillion. It currently stands at about $900 billion. As I said in the intro, the math on this $4 trillion market cap is about $4,000 per share for Tesla stock. Let me know in the comments below, what would your Tesla stock be worth if that actually happens? Electric vehicle penetration worldwide will be 60% by 2030, Black estimates, and I estimate that Gary's underestimating, but not by as much as most people are. Tesla will have 20% EV share. With global light vehicle sales at 85 million units, Tesla would be delivering about 10 million vehicles a year by the end of the decade, according to Black. So Gary estimating Tesla to fall short of their goal of 20 million units by about 50%. Black, who runs the Future Fund Active ETF, projects that those deliveries, along with service sales relating to the existing fleet of Tesla vehicles, would earn the company around $140 billion, or about $100 per share, in other words, EPS, earnings per share. An important note here too, Gary's projections include around 1.4 billion shares of Tesla outstanding by the end of the decade, which is up from roughly 1 billion today. This is definitely possible, however, I don't think Tesla's going to need to raise capital again, they're not going to be issuing stock. I don't think we're going to be anywhere near this number, but time will tell. Math here is simple. Gary's using a 30 times price to earnings multiple on the earnings of $100 per share, yielding a $3,000 price target. Again, that's with 1.4 billion shares of Tesla outstanding. If less shares are issued, less shares are outstanding. This means the price per share is going to be much higher. Based on today, with about 1 billion shares, this would actually be a $4,000 per share price, which translates to a market cap of $4 trillion. Black's near-term price target for Tesla stock is $1,600 per share, basically a doubling from where we are now. That price target would be the highest on Wall Street if Gary Black was publishing brokerage research. New Street research analyst Pierre Ferragu, shout out to Pierre, holds the current crown with a $1,580 price target on Tesla stock. There are a lot of Tesla bears to consider as well. Sorry, Al Root, the author of this article, but I don't really think their opinions are worth considering. Listen to what they've got to say, but when you actually do that, you realize they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and there's no point paying attention. If they made fair points, different story, but these people are all literally brain dead. No other way to think about it. The average of the bottom 3 price targets is about $215 per share, which conveniently is also the sum of the 3 IQs of the people publishing these price targets. Now, I'm a big fan of Gary Black, and in fact, my price target in my base case for Tesla stock in the next 12 months is very close to where Gary's at, a little bit higher, but quite close. However, our price targets and our estimates for Tesla diverge massively over the decade. Gary expecting Tesla to hit around 10 million EVs at the end of the decade. I'm around 20. Obviously, that means the numbers on revenue, profits, etc. are much higher as well. Gary also giving zero value whatsoever to Tesla's full self-driving, their autonomous software. In my valuation model and my price targets out over the next decade, this starts to have a big impact in the later half of the decade. And of course, if you guys would like access to my Tesla stock price targets, they are available exclusively on Patreon. Check the card in the corner or the link in the pinned comment to join. You'll gain access to those. I have a bear case, a base case, and a bull case all the way out to 2031. And all Patreon members also gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos and loads of other content as well. So check the link in the pinned comment if you're not already a member. It's been quite the day. Elon Musk surprising many, but not this guy and not many folks watching the channel, with a call for an immediate increase in output of fossil fuels, gas and oil, and I completely agree. The way that people react to this comment from Elon Musk will actually be extremely insightful. People who are surprised clearly don't understand the guy and or the geopolitical situation and or the national security situation and or the energy dependence situation, blah, 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 blah. Or they're ideological extremists, not helpful at all, who believe fossil fuels are evil, they're the devil, they should be immediately abandoned, and haven't actually done the thinking about, hang on a minute, if we did that, what happens? Oh, the global economy collapses and we go back into the dark ages. So pay attention to how people and the media respond and react to these comments. We also heard Morgan Stanley publishing a note describing Tesla as a safe haven for stock investors. I mean, who am I to argue with their logic? At long last, Tesla has finally overcome the last of the red tape and bureaucracy and been given final approval for their Berlin factory. First deliveries are likely to begin this month. And Gary Black believes Tesla is ultimately heading to a $4 trillion market cap in 2030, and I think Gary's massively underestimating, but he's closer than any of the analysts on Wall Street. So, hope you guys and girls have enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any thoughts. Do you agree with Elon Musk? Should the world begin ramping up fossil fuel-based production to ensure energy security so countries like Russia no longer have them by the balls? Is it possible Tesla may actually provide some assistance in any way relating to this? And just finally, don't forget, if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by joining Patreon with the card in the corner or the link in the pinned comment. As I mentioned, you'll gain access to my Tesla price targets out over the next decade, plus loads of exclusive content. So I'll see you over there. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment theme merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.